Hello, this is Caleb Barney with Russell Real Estate, and today I wanted to go over Zillow's 2024 housing market predictions. This is actually an article. It doesn't give a ton of statistics, so if you're looking for, um, numbers like, hey, this particular market's going to go up this percentage, that's not what this is going over. So this particular article was posted just a few days ago, November 30th, 2023. As of this recording, it's December 4th. And what they wanted to do is break down their housing predictions basically in five different categories, or maybe a little more. So I wanted to give my thoughts on their predictions and whether I see that being a trend in Northeast Ohio as well. So the first one is more homes will hit the market as homeowners accept that mortgage rates aren't falling anytime soon. I do agree with this. So basically, interest rates are not going back to the 3% or even the 4% range in the near future, or possibly ever, honestly, is what a lot of experts are saying. As of today, when I looked at the Mortgage News Daily, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage nationally was about 7.125%, so 7.125%. And honestly, that is very encouraging because just about a month ago we were at 8%. So we've been falling pretty precipitously for the past month or so. And really, you know, what people or what buyers are looking at, and even sellers too, are looking at is what are current interest rates and what were interest rates. And when you're comparing 7.125 compared to 8%, it looks very pretty comparing as opposed to comparing 7.125 to 3.125. And I think people are just getting used to this being the new norm. And honestly, we've had some really good numbers that the Federal Reserve has been looking for with inflation data. So not only CPI, but PCE. And we've seen good numbers for what they're looking for employment status. So like there's a lot of things that are moving in the right direction where I'm actually hearing experts predict that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates at least a couple of times in 2024. So that being said, if they're cutting the federal funds rate and basically the 10-year treasury yield is going to continue to go down and interest rates for mortgages are going to continue to go down, I honestly, as a real estate agent, I hope they don't drop too fast because I don't want this roller coaster ride that looks like a third world country with what these interest rates are doing on a weekly basis or sometimes a daily basis. What we need is stability, and if we have interest rates that are just gradually going down and steadily going down, and we could just have some sort of confidence that, if I don't find a house this week that, or within the next 3 weeks, that I'm not going to be screwed and the interest rates are going to go up 3/4 of a point. That's what I want as a real estate agent. Not to mention, here in Northeast Ohio, we are still seeing it be a strong seller's market. So if you're pricing a home right, you're still usually getting multiple offers within the first week of it being on market. And it's just not healthy to see, the 10 plus offers, people going 30,000 over asking, waiving inspections, waiving finance contingencies, offering appraisal gap coverage. That's just not what we want to see. It is very appealing for sellers, but guess what? Most sellers are home buyers as well. So they're going through the exact same thing. So that being said, I do think more homes will hit the market as homeowners accept that mortgage rates aren't falling anytime soon. And then they really hit on this as well, that basically some homeowners have been reluctant to sell with those, because they don't want to trade in their 3% interest rate. But after so long, I mean, they've held out for, the move up home or the downsizing home or whatever best suits their needs. Yes, people think about not really interest rates, but more so the monthly mortgage payment that they're going to have. But they also think about the quality of their life. And if they're crammed in this house and they're like, I can't stand being in this tiny little galley kitchen anymore, or hey, we have, uh, you know, 3 kids and, a husband and wife, and we only have 3 bedrooms. As those kids get older, maybe they're all different ages, like they're not going to necessarily want to share a room anymore. So there's life circumstances that will always dictate, people moving, and I think that that will obviously continue as well. The second point or prediction that Zillow makes is that home buying costs will level off, giving hopeful buyers a chance to catch up. So, what do they mean by home buying costs here? Well, basically, there are a couple of components to home buying costs. One is going to be the home value or the home price. So, what is that home going to be priced at? This is what we're looking at for home affordability. If house prices go up, even if interest rates stay the same and your income stays the same, well, that house is going to be less affordable. So Zillow is actually forecasting rates nationally falling 0.2%. I think that rates in the Ohio market, are honestly Northeast Ohio market, are going to go up between 2 to 4% next year. The primary areas that I serve, I said between 3 and 5% this year for my prediction last year. And the primary areas that I serve are just over 4% year over year growth. So I do think that we are going to see a slight increase in home value, but nothing crazy. I do think that, as they mentioned here, given recent inflation news, that there's the impression that rates are likely to hold fairly steady in the coming months, and they might actually decrease. So they have the possibility of costs falling if mortgage rates do. So I think that rates are going to fall just a little bit, nothing crazy. I think that home values are going to stay steady, slightly increase, nothing crazy. And then basically wage growth has stayed strong. We've seen wages pick up a little bit, not to the extent that it offsets inflation or offsets the rising home costs over the past couple of years. But if wage growth continues on that same trajectory, you're going to be making a little bit more money while home prices are staying steady and interest rates are going down. So all in all, I'm pretty on page with Zillow here, although I don't think that home buying costs are going to level off quite as much as they are predicting, just because in Northeast Ohio, I think that housing prices are still going to go up just a little bit. The new starter home will be a single family rental, is the third Zillow prediction here. And basically what they're saying is that even though home buying affordability is expected to improve in 2024, according to them, many houses will still continue to be priced out, so they can't afford to buy a new house. That being said, demand and prices for single-family rentals will continue to increase next year as families look for a more affordable option to enjoy amenities like a private backyard or a home that doesn't share walls with neighbors. So basically, they're saying people are going to be tired of renting apartments, renting condos, townhouses. They don't want the shared walls, the party walls, anything like that. And they're going to want their own private space. So, excuse me. So basically, they are predicting that there's going to be more single-family inventory, rental inventory, as a lot of people who already own single-family properties decide to keep their 3% mortgage rate that we talked about before, and they decide to rent it out as opposed to selling it. So that will increase rental demand, or I'm sorry, it'll increase rental supply, as they are basically saying that rental demand is also going to pick up. So that, in theory, should be a wash where we don't see any crazy price increases or decreases for rental prices. The downside for this, for anybody looking to buy a home, is basically you want inventory on the market. You want that person, that homeowner, to sell their house to that first time home buyer and use the funds to buy their next home, as opposed to keeping this house and buying their next home, where they're just basically taking a house away from the inventory because they're buying one, but they're not adding one back to the inventory because they're not selling one. More markets will follow New York City's lead, with rental demand surging near downtowns. This is their fourth prediction. And basically, they said during the pandemic and even before, suburban rent prices were growing faster than rents in urban neighborhoods. While that gap has narrowed, suburban rents continue to outpace urban rents in most major markets. But what they do say is in New York City, it shows demand is surging for rentals in commutable areas with easy access to downtown. So this is a little trickier. So again, my closest major market would be Cleveland, and I really think it just depends on and this is completely generalizing, but it depends on the demographic. I think that young people who are just out of college are definitely more skewed towards wanting to have the convenience of being close to work if they are working downtown in offices. And they also want to be close to the nightlife and all the different options for bars and food and different things like that. They don't have kids, so they don't really care as much about like having that yard space. Again, these are all generalizations, and I understand that. But I don't necessarily see people, younger people looking to buy near downtown, just because it can be very expensive if you're looking in areas like Tremont, Ohio City, Gordon Square, different things like that. If you're even getting to, Edgewater, Detroit Shoreway, like that could be very expensive still. And we have already brought up how home buying affordability. So if people don't have equity from a previous home, they're just starting their first real job out of college, they usually don't have the down payment, the credit score, anything that you're looking for to buy in those areas. So while New York City, I feel like they just kind of have their own real estate market, I don't necessarily think that that you're going to see a ton of people looking to buy downtown. Renters looking for a place downtown probably will have some more options, just because there is more multifamily new construction going on right now. And that's true here in Northeast Ohio as well. Next point, I think it's the fifth point, traditional home buyers will compete with home flippers for homes that need a little TLC. Yes and no, I would agree with this. So they said inventory has been far below normal for a while, and though Zillow predicts more homes will hit the market in 2024, inventory will remain much lower than pre-pandemic norms. Faced with limited choices, buyers will be willing to overlook small flaws, such as an outdated bathroom or kitchen. And to this, I would agree with, for the most part. As a real estate agent, I just try to at least put in people's minds, possibilities of, okay, well, this may not be your dream home, but you can fix it up. You could do X, Y, Z to that. Before I was in real estate, I was actually in the remodeling business. So hopefully I can guide them a little bit in that direction. Okay, here's what we were looking at for the average cost of a bathroom remodel, of a kitchen remodel, so on and so forth. But what I have found is that a lot of first-time home buyers, especially those that are coming out of college, and younger, to the point where maybe they haven't even rented their own place for very long, a lot of them are looking at where their parents' houses are, and they've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle or certain upgrades, updates, amenities, and aren't necessarily the most realistic with what is priced within their budget. And they want a perfect move-in ready home where these houses may be move-in ready as far as, hey, you can literally move in and live there, but they are going to be dated, and sometimes you have to put a little sweat equity into it. So um, it's a breath of fresh air when I do see people who are willing to do that, where you can really force equity and force appreciation in your home by fixing it up, whether you're doing it by yourself or on your own, I should say, or whether you're doing it by paying a contractor. Either way, that is a nice option because most people, or a lot of people from what I'm seeing, don't want to deal with the hassle or the unknowns of remodeling. And that's where they're like, yeah, even if we got it for $20,000 less, I'm not looking to buy this property or anything like that. Or even if we get some seller concessions, I'm still not interested in it. So, and then the last prediction from Zillow is artificial intelligence will enhance the home search experience. And I agree with this too, just because, AI has come so far just this year, even, and I expect that it's going to continue to do so. I use ChatGPT for prompts, for writing articles, for writing listing descriptions. I do think that it's going to improve both agents' capabilities of helping their clients, but also buyers and sellers. I think that more information is getting out there, and it's a good thing. But I do still think that people are going to have to rely on their real life trusted, real estate agents or advisors, basically, to make the largest transaction potentially of their lifetime, whether buying or selling. So that's Zillow's 2024 housing market predictions. I apologize for coughing and having some verbal fillers in there today, as I am just getting over a cold. But just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video with me, and have a great day.